Smith, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs, and Development, Senator the Honorable Kennedy Swat Singh, and we've got some other folks lined up for you, of course. So it may or may not be in that order, but we will be bringing you everything that's happening as far as current affairs. So look out for that, and we've got a lot of things in store, as well as the Wali celebrations that have been taking place across the nation. So we'll be showing you some of those sites and some of those celebrations that took place just this weekend, as a matter of fact. There's some scheduled to take place, but of course we're here, and we got to bring you the information. So to all of you out there, hope you're having a good time and you know, doing what you enjoy doing. And of course, tomorrow is a holiday, public holiday, and I'm sure you're gonna get some much needed rest. So again, we have a lot, and let me give you the numbers early, so that way later on there wouldn't be an issue. Don't forget, if you want to send a WhatsApp number, a WhatsApp call, 494-0938, and of course our line says 225-9790, 225-9790. Just testing the system, making sure everything is up and running, so when we begin there wouldn't be an issue. Well, it's about that time, so over to you, Master Control, and let's start the Observer.
Your heart does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL. Nourish your heart. Sustain your life.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now, 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
Where does disease start? It often begins silently. No pain, no symptoms, just inflammation quietly damaging your body. Our choice is food, stress, pollution, all feed inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of many modern diseases.
You can't go back in time, but you can start addressing inflammation before it becomes disease.
Omega XL is a natural inflammation fighter clinically researched with over 30 fatty acids and no fishy aftertaste. Available Caribbean-wide at pharmacies and health food stores. Call 1-868-225-0410 for more information.
For all top quality and affordable hardware supplies, no one beats Midland Hardware, located number 97 Eastern Main Road, Arouca. Midland stocks the #1 brands in hand tools, garden tools, water taps, power washers, generators, water pumps, kitchen and bathroom faucets, along with face basins and toilet sets, blocks, lumber, steel, sand, gravel, and topsoil. Also check out Midland for steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or call 646-2144. Open every day from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's
The root cause of diabetes
Juicing that
Find a dealer near you.
If you live with diabetes, your pancreas works overtime every single day. Between our rich foods and busy lives, chronic inflammation can sneak in, stressing the pancreas and raising the risk of complications. Over time, inflammation can damage these cells, making blood sugar harder to control.
Protecting your pancreas from inflammation is a smart way to support healthy blood sugar management.
Backed by science, Omega XL is a natural anti-inflammatory with over 30 free fatty acids, proven to help reduce inflammation at its source. Learn more online or ask your local pharmacist.
Oh gosh, this place hot. And the AC, then this car not working.
Check Ryan Air. Ryan Air is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 King Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryan Air.
All right, and we're back. Thank you, Master Control. We are back, folks. And joining us is a gentleman, I believe it's the second or third time we had him on The Observer. Anyhow, he's no stranger. Please let me say a pleasant good evening to Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge. Pleasant good evening.
Good evening, Mikey.
Yeah, it's been quite a weekend. Now, you know, people have been seeing so much going on, so much being bandied about. You know, do we run to the supermarket? Do we panic buy? Do we get scared? I mean, I think you know exactly where I'm coming from. The Minister of Homeland Security made it quite clear there's no need to panic. He said that warning citizens that came out from the U.S. Embassy is basically something that we know by now happens, especially perhaps on a long weekend, as the case may be. Please expand on this. Where are we at?
Well, the intel in the possession of the U.S. Embassy and their officials does not suggest that we are a target or that the Trinidadian citizens need be concerned at all. Now, it's a threat. It's not a code red, but what we know is that it is directed potentially at U.S. officials in particular and U.S. installations. And because it's directed at U.S. officials, there's always a possibility that it can extend to U.S. citizens. But that's the intel. There's nothing at all to suggest that we as a country are being targeted, and it is it's not anything like we are going to get nuked or a bomb is going to drop on us, nothing like that. It is very specific to U.S. personnel.
Yeah, and I think there's a fear when people start to read into things as far as the Prime Minister and the Attorney General to be moved to safe houses, identified for them. These plans were discussed over a week ago. I mean, there's one thing to be mischievous. I mean, we understand that we live now with so many different social platforms that news, of course, comes out that we have to check and double check. As we say here in Trinidad, we have to pick sense from nonsense. But at the end of it all, I mean, this is something that we're not really accustomed to, where someone could just simply put out this information and directly say that, you know, the heads of state is out of the country and the Prime Minister and the Attorney General will be put in a safe house. I mean, what is really happening here?
Well, first things first, I understand it's coming from one news source in particular, and that news source has been exposed by a court judgment, and up to Friday in Parliament has been exposed as a source of serious propaganda and unreliability. So that is not a credible news source. Of course, she might have her following, and those who don't know better might rely on it. But if you have an ounce of common sense, you know first of all that is first of all, the source is not credible. Second, ask yourself, where did she get that information from? And third, who would be privy to that information that would disseminate something like that? So all of the online things that you see, you have to pick sense from nonsense. And some people, it's a hit and miss a lot of the times. They might hope or expect that this is what is going to take place, and if they say it first and it happens, then they'll say, we said it first, we said it before anybody else.
Yeah,
and that's a tactic to enhance. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, perhaps they enhance their platform or as far as their base goes. But at the same time, we're talking about creating social disorder. We're talking about there are people who may not be tech savvy, perhaps in the older generation, and just hearing these things, no telling what could happen. I mean, someone could basically fall into illness or. I mean, there's one thing, as I said, where mischief is concerned. You're looking for likes, you're creating mischief. But when you're actually putting this information out there and being specific about it, there has to be a line that is crossed at some point.
Well, I believe, to my mind, that has been crossed a long time ago. It's up to the authorities to look at it to see what might border on seditious behavior, whether any offense has been committed. And in essence, you're inciting a panic. That in itself is something that has to be looked at. And off the top of my head, it's inciting panic or anything like that. That's not necessarily a criminal offense in terms of laws. But there must be something at common law that can deal with this sort of thing. And if there isn't, I advocate for the future. And I can imagine from now people jumping out and saying, you're trying to limit freedom of speech. It's not limiting freedom of speech. With that freedom of speech is not an absolute right. With that freedom comes responsibility. And that's why people should take their news and their information from credible platforms who are credible because there are checks and balances against the information. Not platforms which have a history of sharing political propaganda and misinformation. But I hear what you say, and I agree that many people may not be tech savvy or be discerning enough to know that this ought not to be relied upon, because some people feel that everything that you see on the internet is true. It's not. And that's why you have to rely on official channels. The Attorney General and the Minister of Homeland Security came out early yesterday morning and indicated what the state of affairs was. And if there is a change to the state of affairs, just like they did very early yesterday morning, we will at some point come out and address the nation and say this is what the state of affairs are at any point in time.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm glad you cleared it up. I also want to commend you for the fact that, looking at laws going forward, because I would hate to think that this would be the modus operandi of a certain individual for the next 4.5 or 5 years, trying basically to have some sort of social destabilizing of activities taking place. And really and truly, I don't think that many of us as citizens can go through that. We need to know the information, and I think you made it quite clear as well that if there was something, we would have been, of course, briefed on it by the authorities.
Yes, and to in essence debunk, and this should be enough to tell you that you should not be listening to news source and other such propaganda machines. The fact that it was being spread on social media by a number of platforms that the U.S. personnel had been shipped out, and that the Prime Minister and the Attorney General and Her Excellency the President, that they've been shipped out. But yesterday, they all had dinner, minus Her Excellency. Right. They all had dinner at the Prime Minister's residence in South. So that is enough to tell you that what you read earlier was absolute rubbish.
Thank you. So
let me just say, I mean, in times of war, some things happen and some things have to be done expeditiously. If there's a need for any such movement to take place, then all will be informed. But and informed in a very timely manner. We are not going to have information, sit on it, and expose the citizenry to harm. If there's any possibility that there's going to be a strike and a retaliation, and we are seized of that information, then we will disseminate it, and we'll disseminate it together with the relevant plans that are in essence put in place for times like these, if they happen to roll out. So if there's need to seek shelter, to avoid the roads, to not crowd, to stock up and things like that, we'll do it in an orderly fashion. There's no need to panic.
All right.
So,
Minister, I think you said it all. I mean, thank you so much. I mean, and I'm sure you were bombarded by a lot of calls and people asking you what's going on, what's happening, are we expecting something to take place? It wasn't easy. And I think, again, the senior citizens too, because many reached out, many of them look at my program, and they were quite concerned, they were very worried. So I want to thank you so much for taking time out and clearing up this issue, giving us some clarity on it. Any closing comments? Go right ahead.
Well, the closing comments, first of all, if there's any change, if something, if we are seized, and that's what I want to say, we are seized of information that things are about to happen next door, then obviously, if there's at all a chance of a reprisal, and let me make it clear, there are no warships in our waters, there are no destroyers in our waters, there are no F-35s or Black Hawk helicopters or anything like that in our airspace, so that there's nothing being launched from here. So there's no need for Venezuela to target us as a reprisal. All we've simply said, we've backed up the position that what is happening on international waters between the U.S. and who the U.S. deemed to be a narco state, that's an issue between the U.S. and that state. And it's happening not in our territorial waters or airspace. Of course, we agree, in essence, that if people are, in essence, trafficking that volume of drugs and firearms and so on, and it has been the case over the years that when it gets here, there's a multiplier effect in terms of the murders, whether it's guarding turf, double-crossing, or somebody losing money out of a deal, and the end result is destruction. So we are not a zone of peace. We are a zone of war, where the narco traffickers basically bring war to our territory, and the war has resulted in the murder rate skyrocketing from about 20 years ago. It was at one point murders would always be under 100, and it costs 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, now 600. Most of it is gang related. Most of it is gang related as a result of drugs and guns. And where are these things coming from? It's coming from next door. So this is not a zone of peace. This is a place, Trinidad is the stomping ground for internecine warfare between warring gangs over drugs. So if what is happening, what the U.S. is doing out there, taking out narco traffickers who they deem terrorists in their law, if that results in a serious reduction in drugs and guns coming to our country, and as a consequence, a serious reduction in violent crime and murders, then we welcome it. We could never say that's not a good thing. And we are not feeling sorry for those who, when they are bringing their drugs and guns, that they are intercepted and die at the hands of an airstrike. Yes, generally, if it's in our territorial waters, then they'll be afforded due process. But if it's in international waters and there's a fight between one country deeming the other narco terrorists because they are trafficking certain things, then that's a fight.
Yeah.
But again, it redounds to our benefit. And because it redounds to our benefit, that doesn't mean we are involved in anything, in any war. But to make it very clear, there's very little likelihood of the Venezuelans attacking us because nothing is being launched from here.
So true. All right. I think that says it all. Thank you so much for taking time out again. Keep up the good work, and we'll be checking in with you periodically.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So there you have it, folks. The Minister of Defense, the Honorable Wayne Sturge, giving us some insight and letting us know that no need to panic. And I do believe that they should get some laws together moving forward, because we don't want this to be the operation of certain individuals that every week, whenever something, strange enough, you know, we've seen somebody drop the ball during the budget debate. They walked out, they failed, they didn't even know exactly, well, they walked out before, but of course what we saw last week, Friday, was a bunch of confused individuals, enough to fit in a little small maxi, that didn't know who their leader was, where they were going, what they had to say, and then all of a sudden, we wake up on Saturday morning, and we're hearing about safe houses, and the Prime Minister is going to be moving, the Attorney General, and the President apparently is out of the country, because why? Are you saying something as far as she may have had prior information of something, or you expect something to go down? I mean, it's one thing to be mischievous, but when your objective is to basically destabilize the society, to put people into panic mode, to get that fear factor out there, then something is wrong. And I believe that a line has been crossed. So we wait and see what government is going to do moving forward. And he's right, many people would jump out and say, you know, you're encroaching on the rights of journalists or freedom of speech or what have you. But there are people who are using that right to arm themselves, to attack us, and by doing so, destabilizing our country. We can't be sitting ducks, folks. Take a break. When we come back, more right here on The Observer.
Your heart does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL. Nourish your heart. Sustain your life.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now, 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
Where does disease start? It often begins silently. No pain, no symptoms, just inflammation quietly damaging your body. Our choice is food, stress, pollution, all feed inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of many modern diseases.
You can't go back in time, but you can start addressing inflammation before it becomes disease.
Omega XL is a natural inflammation fighter clinically researched with over 30 fatty acids and no fishy aftertaste. Available Caribbean-wide at pharmacies and health food stores. Call 1-868-225-0410 for more information.
For all top quality and affordable hardware supplies, no one beats Midland Hardware, located number 97 Eastern Main Road, Aruka. Midland stocks the #1 brands in hand tools, garden tools, water tanks, power washers, generators, water pumps, kitchen and bathroom faucets, along with face basins and toilet sets. blocks, lumber, steel, sand, gravel, and topsoil. Also check out Midland for steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or call 646-2144. Open every day from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's all at Midland.
Is high blood sugar the root cause of diabetes? Most people think high blood sugar is the problem. The truth, it's inflammation. Insulin resistance is the root cause of diabetes. Reducing that inflammation is key. Omega XL is a natural option. Not fish oil, but a patented green lip muscle extract with over 30 fatty acids, including EPA and DHA. Clinically studied, backed by over 30 years of research. Stay tuned.
Omega XL. Power your health.
Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable and innovative products, tested and proven by generations of professionals. Full after-sales and service support whenever you need it. Contact Provar Distributors Limited, 223-9438 to find a dealer near you.
If you live with diabetes, your pancreas works overtime every single day. Between our rich foods and busy lives, chronic inflammation can sneak in, stressing the pancreas and raising the risk of complications. Over time, inflammation can damage these cells, making blood sugar harder to control.
Protecting your pancreas from inflammation is a smart way to support healthy blood sugar management.
Backed by science, Omega XL is a natural anti-inflammatory with over 30 free fatty acids, proven to help reduce inflammation at its source. Learn more online or ask your local pharmacist.
Oh gosh, this place hot. And the AC in this car not working.
Check Ryan Air. Ryan Air is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 Cane Farm Road, Kakarigwa, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryan Air.
Thank you, Master Control, and we are back. Yeah, check out Ryan Air, man. Get that cool breeze. And joining us is a man who is no stranger to the Observer. We had him on about 2 weeks ago, but he's back because he's in the spotlight. Yes, let me say a pleasant good evening to Minister of Public Administration and AI Technology, Senator the Honorable Dominic Smith. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, my brother. How are you? And,
always good to hear your voice. Always good. And more than anything now, because I know that we had a lot of mischief taking place over the weekend, where people were afraid and they were panicking and what have you. But waking up this morning was a complete difference, where government launches National Recruitment Drive 2025. Over 20,000 plus jobs available nationwide. This is great news. Please go right ahead. The floor is yours. We're hearing jobs. It's something that people have been talking about. Go right ahead, Minister.
Yes, my brother. Well, I want to say again, thank you for inviting me on. It's always a pleasure to be part of the conversation here. And of course, good afternoon to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. What can I say? The Prime Minister in her leadership has committed to the people of Trinidad and Tobago that we will listen first, and then we would take constructive action to remedy issues in society at large. And one of the big problems coming out after the last election was real jobs. Real jobs, real tangible employment for citizens. And, the approach in the past has been one where, it's a situation where you have employment, but the employment is not one that, allows and facilitates persons to really, benefit in a real sense from the employment, and also to have, sustainable income. And so, the Prime Minister envisioned on how do we, restructure strategize the way in which people can be employed by the public sector. And as a result, it's not about the fanfare. It's about really getting the job done and putting in the work, and that's what we've endeavored to do. And through the Ministry of Public Admin and AI, and of course a team of committed cabinet ministers, we've come up with the Trinidad National Recruitment Drive. And what that does is that it allows persons to go on the site employeett.gov.tt/job recruitment drive, and they can apply for thousands of jobs, enter their details, submit their CVs, and at the end of the day, this is about creating real opportunities for people, and we're trying to demonstrate as much as possible that everyone can participate in the labor market and the labor pool, and we wanted to give people an equal opportunity to do so. And so this drive, they can do it via the application, of course, and we also have set up for persons who are unable to fill the applications online, they can go down to the cycling velodrome. We have the schedule posted on social media and on various channels, and persons can make their applications there as well. So it's a day of hope. It's a day of promises made and promises delivered by the government, and we're really looking forward to the powerful progress that can be made with this initiative.
Yeah, it states here under the theme, real jobs, real people, real change. Now, there are those who are going to weigh in on this and say, well, we've had a work culture where many people were always content with perhaps going in at 8 o'clock, getting something done, and they need to be out of there by lunchtime or before lunch. And now you're changing up this entire thing, and you're asking people to change that whole culture, that way that they're accustomed to. I mean, what do you say to folks who would make such statements?
I think it's really important for us to redefine the work culture in Trinidad and Tobago, and we have to be guided by the changing environment of the job market. We can't continue, as the Prime Minister said, to do things that we've done historically. We have to really strategize. We have to really critically think, and I think this initiative really stems from that sort of change management. So I think persons can look forward to what is real opportunity. You mentioned the tagline, real jobs, real change, real people. And those three words can be intertwined, but the true concept is a concept of hope and empathy for people. Because when you think about it, someone doesn't only want to be employed, they want to be able to provide for their family, they want to be able to get jobs where they can build a life for their family, they can build a life for their children. And it's not about just giving piecemeal employment. It's about giving employment that can allow people to be homeowners, that can allow people to progress their lives, to have a higher standard of living. And that is the genesis of this initiative. Looking at everyone, providing a level of equity, and leveling the playing field, because you can see in the application as well that we have jobs listed there with no experience. We have jobs listed with experience. We have jobs listed based on certain requirements. So it's a multi-tiered approach, and our focus is, of course, to give jobs to our citizens as soon as possible, understanding the dynamics of the country, understanding the economics of what we've inherited, and we're looking forward to partnering with the public to really improve the overall labor market, and of course, provide gainful employment to our people.
Yeah, we had a former Prime Minister who said that, and this was said in Laventille, of course, it is time for the citizens to wean off the government. Now we're seeing an administration that is saying, listen, we have a responsibility to give you the opportunity to, as you mentioned, feel as though that you have worth and value, not just a job, but a sense of belonging as well. And something that is going to at least help you to be globally competitive on the market. Taking all of that in consideration, I mean, give us an idea, sitting down with the Prime Minister, having this plan, saying, this is what we spoke about on the campaign trail, this is what we want to deliver. I mean, a lot of ideas might have been popping around and people talk. Give us a sense of how that was now that we're seeing this initiative coming off the ground.
I want to say that our Prime Minister, she's someone with a very positive work ethic. She works very hard, and that is instilled in all our cabinet members and all our MPs. And I want to say that, the directive really comes from her in terms of our approach. And, 5-6 months into administration, when you look into really reshape and reimagine employment for our citizens, this is something that has happened in quick time. I think that is the approach. The approach is we don't have time to sit on our laurels, and there's a level of urgency that we've been applying to all of our government work. And, this is a direct result of that vision. And people will begin to see a lot of transformational initiatives pushed out by various ministries. This one was done in collaboration with a number of ministries, and you would see as well all of the ministries would have contributed their available jobs to us. And then we're using the analytics and the dashboarding and the websites and the applications. We're using the technology in a way that can really facilitate and show persons that we're living in an age of digital transformation, and this is what they can expect. They can expect solutions that are ready and able to facilitate the applications, and then powered by artificial intelligence, powered by technology. They can also see that we're also catering to everyone on the ground as well, where we have the setup at the velodrome and a number of activation hubs that we rolled out in the coming days and weeks. So, the population can be positive, and the population can certainly look forward to a dynamic leadership, which has, been demonstrating results. I can't go without saying, the budget has said promises made, promises kept. And stemming from the manifesto, persons who are, patriotic and who are logical minded can go to the manifesto and see every box is being checked, and we'll continue to do so with the guidance of our Prime Minister.
Yeah. Now, of course, weighing in on this entire thing, there will be people with special needs and what have you. You have people say, well, I'm a mother, I can't put in all these hours, I have children. So is there going to be different programs reaching out to the needs of those people who are going to be listed for these jobs?
I think the first step, in the first phase, and this, we call this phase 1. It's important for us to do the data gathering aspect, so we get a sense of, what applicants have applied, and, based on the categories that we've defined, we filter that data and we really use the data to be smart as possible to develop those insights. Now, we're not only using technology, but we're also having persons come, on the ground, in person as well. So we will be able to determine, where are the gaps, and what are the dynamics in terms of the labor pool. And, in the subsequent phases to come, yes, those issues will be met head on. This is a government that we haven't said that we have all the answers, but the Prime Minister has made a commitment to try. We will try to do what needs to be done. The budget is a reflection of that. And, in the coming weeks and months to follow, there will be multiple phases. This is just the first phase. So I think in good time, many of those intricacies will be rolled out and executed in due course.
Yeah, I mean, you said it's phase 1. Give us an idea, walk us through the program. I mean, as you said, you can do it online. You can come down and fill out the hard copy at any of the centers, and there'll be more centers. At this time, I believe there's only, how many, 2 or 3? Or?
At this time, we have one main activation line, which is at the site in Velodrome in Cuba. And, those are open today. Actually, we opened it, as soon as possible. So 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. today, with a close off now. But we also have an opening on Tuesday, which would be 8 to 4 as well, and continuing to Friday. And we look to highlight more activations across the country from around Tuesday, the 21st of October. So, keep abreast of the social media channels, and of course the Office of the Prime Minister will provide more data and information related to those rollouts, but much to be expected, and much to be delivered in the coming days.
Yeah, very exciting things. Any closing comments? Go right ahead.
It's just to re-emphasize the point that this is about real employment, real jobs, real people, and we're trying to really demonstrate real change in the labor market. It's a partnering here. We've not done or initiated any action without proper consultation, and so it's an invitation for the national public to engage with us, engage with government, and together we can move. We can overcome any challenge that we face. And one of the challenges has been the way in which labor has been used and mobilized and activated, and persons benefiting who shouldn't be benefiting. And this is a transformational agenda that we have here. But the most important thing is equity, fairness, accountability. And this initiative, it speaks to all of those pillars. And we will continue to do that and demonstrate that to the public. So the naysayers can say what they like, but this is an initiative that has happened quickly. And we have the political will to do so, and we'll continue to do so to the benefit of the population and the people.
Thank you so much for taking time out, giving us this great news. Keep up the good work. We'll be checking in with you, of course, as time goes along.
Yes, my brother. Thank you, and to the national public, have a good afternoon, and Shub Diwali, of course.
Shub Diwali to you as well. Thank you so much.
Yes, my brother.
Well, folks, there you have it, the Minister of Public Administration and AI Technology, Senator the Honorable Dominic Smith, giving you a full on what's going on, that full scoop on the drive, the offering of 20,000 jobs. The Honorable Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Visesa shared that post this morning, and it's aiming to provide real jobs for real people and contribute to national development. That says quite a lot. So, I mean, we're seeing a shift in our labor culture, and there's some people who definitely are not up to change, especially if they've been comfortable with it for quite some time and content with it, and really and truly they don't have to put much of an effort out, just give someone their name and they receive something and they pay someone, and they're all good with that, and they're happy. I mean, you see them going at 8 o'clock and coming back home at 10:30, and that's a full day. And there are those who are saying that that culture is not going to be easy to change. But I think that once it's out there and the jobs out there and people understand that, hey, if you want to live, if you want to keep your head above water, go register. 20,000 jobs, and that's just phase one. So while there are people talking about the sky is falling and people are in safe houses and who's not in the country, the government is working. We'll be right back.
Your heart does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL, nourish your heart, sustain your life.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now, 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
Where does disease start? It often begins silently. No pain, no symptoms, just inflammation quietly damaging your body. Our choice is food, stress, pollution, all feed inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of many modern diseases.
You can't go back in time, but you can start addressing inflammation before it becomes disease.
Omega XL is a natural inflammation fighter clinically researched with over 30 fatty acids and no fishy aftertaste. Available Caribbean-wide at pharmacies and health food stores. Call 1-868-225-0410 for more information.
For all top quality and affordable hardware supplies, no one beats Midland Hardware, located number 97 Eastern Main Road, Arouca. Midland stocks the #1 brands in hand tools, garden tools, water tanks, power washers, generators, water pumps, kitchen and bathroom faucets, along with face basins and toilet sets, blocks, lumber, steel, sand, gravel, and topsoil. Also check out Midland for steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or call 646-2144. Open every day from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, It's all at Midland.
Is high blood sugar the root cause of diabetes? Most people think high blood sugar is the problem. The truth, it's inflammation. Insulin resistance is the root cause of diabetes. Reducing that inflammation is key. Omega XL is a natural option. Not fish oil, but a patented green-lipped muscle extract with over 30 fatty acids, including EPA and DHA. Clinically studied, backed by over 30 years of research. Stay tuned.
Omega XL. Power your health.
Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable and innovative products, tested and proven by generations of professionals. Full after-sales and service support whenever you need it. Contact Provar Distributors Limited, 223-9438 to find a dealer near you.
If you live with diabetes, your pancreas works overtime every single day. Between our rich foods and busy lives, chronic inflammation can sneak in, stressing the pancreas and raising the risk of complications. Over time, inflammation can damage these cells, making blood sugar harder to control.
Protecting your pancreas from inflammation is a smart way to support healthy blood sugar management.
Backed by science, Omega XL is a natural anti-inflammatory with over 30 free fatty acids, proven to help reduce inflammation at its source. Learn more online or ask your local pharmacist.
Oh gosh, this place hot. And the AC, then this car not working.
Check Ryan Air. Ryan Air is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 King Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryan Air.
Dust from the Saharan desert, over 6,000 kilometers away, travels across the Atlantic to our little island, filling the air we breathe with tiny dust particles that can trigger an inflammatory response when inhaled into the lungs.
Saharan dust travels far and triggers inflammation. Omega XL helps reduce it at the source. Support your body from within.
Your heart does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL, nourish your heart, sustain your life.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now, 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
Where does disease start? It often begins silently. No pain, no symptoms, just inflammation quietly damaging your body. Our choices: food, stress, pollution, all feed inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of many modern diseases.
You can't go back in time, but you can start addressing inflammation before it becomes disease.
Omega XL is a natural inflammation fighter clinically researched with over 30 fatty acids and no fishy aftertaste. Available Caribbean-wide at pharmacies and health food stores. Call 1-868-225-0410 for more information.
For all top quality and affordable hardware supplies, no one beats Midland Hardware. Located number 97 Eastern Main Road, Arouca. Midland stocks the #1 brands in hand tools, garden tools, water tanks, power washers, generators, water pumps, kitchen and bathroom faucets, along with face basins and toilet sets. blocks, lumber, steel, sand, gravel, and topsoil. Also check out Midland for steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or call 646-2144. Open every day from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's all at Midland.
Is high blood sugar the root cause of diabetes? Most people think high blood sugar is the problem. The truth, it's inflammation. Insulin resistance is the root cause of diabetes. Reducing that inflammation is key. Omega XL is a natural option. Not fish oil, but a patented green-lipped muscle extract with over 30 fatty acids, including EPA and DHA. Clinically studied, backed by over 30 years of research. Stay tuned.
Omega XL. Power your health.
Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable and innovative products, tested and proven by generations of professionals. Full after sales and service support whenever you need it. Contact
harder to control.
Protecting your pancreas from inflammation is a smart way to support healthy blood sugar management.
Backed by science, Omega XL is a natural anti-inflammatory with over 30 free fatty acids, proven to help reduce inflammation at its source. Learn more online or ask your local pharmacist.
Oh gosh, this place hot. And the AC, then this car not working.
Check Ryan Air. Ryan Air is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 King Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryan Air.
Dust from the Saharan desert.
And we are back. Thank you, Master Control. We are back. I know that, well, the Wali celebrations, let's take a look and see some of the things that, people, of course, were out and about celebrating this beautiful Diwali season. Go right ahead, Master Control. Yeah, we're not gonna, if I'm not mistaken, this was Finance Minister Dave Tanku's Diwali celebration. He had a big one, a huge one. Yes. And that was, if I'm not mistaken, it was last night. And that was in Faizabad. large crowd, large attendance. Wow, that was big. Look at trucks and yeah. Thank you, Master Control. Thank you so much. As well as we have some information coming in from the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, the Honorable Khadija Amin, MP for St. Augustine. A message to each and every one. And that's we try to make sure that we get as much information out to the general public as we can. Master Control, we have that? Yeah. All right, please, let them hear. All right, if you could get that file to play. I think it dealt with the weather and some of the operations that are taking place in the Ministry of Local Government. Do you have it? All right, just take a break, and when you get it, we'll be right. Don't forget, we still have Senator, the Honorable Kennedy Swatsing, and some other folks to come, so stay locked on. Take a quick break, fix that, and we'll be right back at you.
It does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL, nourish your heart, sustain your life.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now, 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
All right, we are back. Once you have it, Master Control, please put it up so the good folks can hear it.
Advised us that Trinidad and Tobago remains under an adverse weather alert, a yellow level, and so our disaster management units across all 14 municipalities have been put on high alert. We have received some reports of flooding in areas within the Chaguanas borough, as well as the Couva, Tabaquite, Talparo region. So in those central areas, we have activated some teams. They have been mobilized to assist in some communities. And at this time, though, we have flooding that has been reported as flash flooding. So while you would have had a lot of flooding on the road, the water dissipated very quickly. But the public is urged to be on high alert. In Chaguanas, we had reports of flooding at the Diwali Nagar site. However, I'm told that the water went down very quickly. But I would advise motorists in some of those central areas, particularly those with low vehicles, to please avoid areas like the Jerningham Junction, Akbar Road, John Peter Road West, and those surrounding areas, because there's still water on the roadway. And I always say motorists should not risk driving in water whenever there's water on the road. So all motorists, we just advise you to please be cautious while we have the rains has not been as torrential as we expected. We are still on high alert. And I hope that people do take the opportunity to participate in all the Diwali celebrations and festivities while exercising that caution.
All right. Was that everything there, Master Control?
At this time, our stream flow data indicate that river levels remain pretty moderate, and a lot of work has been done on those major water courses so that water is running off, the local water courses as well as those under the purview of Ministry of Works. So thankfully that is working in our favor, and we don't yet have situations where the rivers are threatening to break their banks. But we do have quite some time to go within the yellow alert, and we'll continue to monitor our stations.
All right. I think we have that there. All right. When we come back, Senator Sawatse right here on The Observer. We'll be right back.
Your heart does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL, nourish your heart, sustain your life.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now, 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
Where does disease start? It often begins silently. No pain, no symptoms, just inflammation quietly damaging your body. Our choice is food, stress, pollution, all feed inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of many modern diseases.
You can't go back in time, but you can start addressing inflammation before it becomes disease.
Omega XL is a natural inflammation fighter clinically researched with over 30 fatty acids and no fishy aftertaste. Available Caribbean-wide at pharmacies and health food stores. Call 1-868-225-0410 for more information.
For all top quality and affordable hardware supplies, no one beats Midland Hardware, located number 97 Eastern Main Road, Aruka. Midland stocks the #1 brands in hand tools, garden tools, water tanks, power washers, generators, water pumps, kitchen and bathroom faucets, along with face basins and toilet sets, blocks, lumber, steel, sand, gravel, and topsoil. Also check out Midland for steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or call 646-2144. Open every day from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's all at Midland.
Is high blood sugar the root cause of diabetes? Most people think high blood sugar is the problem. The truth, it's inflammation. Insulin resistance is the root cause of diabetes. Reducing that inflammation is key. Omega XL is a natural option. Not fish oil, but a patented green-lipped muscle extractor with over 30 fatty acids, including EPA and DHA. Clinically studied, backed by over 30 years of research. Stay tuned.
Omega XL. Power your health.
Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable and innovative products, tested and proven by generations of professionals. Full after-sales and service support whenever you need it. Contact Provar Distributors Limited, 223-9438 to find a dealer near you.
If you live with diabetes, your pancreas works overtime every single day. Between our rich foods and busy lives, chronic inflammation can sneak in, stressing the pancreas and raising the risk of complications. Over time, inflammation can damage these cells, making blood sugar harder to control.
Protecting your pancreas from inflammation is a smart way to support healthy blood sugar management.
Backed by science, Omega XL is a natural anti-inflammatory with over 30 free fatty acids, proven to help reduce inflammation at its source. Learn more online or ask your local pharmacist.
Oh gosh, this place hot, and the AC in this car not working.
Check Ryan Air. Ryan Air is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 King Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryan Air.
And we're back. Thank you, Master Control. Thank you so much. And joining us, a man who is no stranger to the Observer, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development, Senator the Honorable Kennedy Sowat Singh. Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, Mickie, and good evening to your listeners.
Yeah, I'm hearing you a lot better. Good to hear your voice. And let me first of all thank you so much for taking time out on this Sunday to link with us here. And Shubh Diwali to you and your entire community.
Thank you, Shubh Diwali to you and your listeners as well.
Yes. Budget, it's on the minds of many. Some people are still trying to sort of find their way as to what adjustments need to be made and, what actually transpired on that day. And you have to break it down to the lowest common denominator for the average man. Looking at the summary here, and of course the theme was Trinidad and Tobago first, building economic fairness through accountable fiscal policies. Expand on that.
Well, as you know, when the Prime Minister and this government assumed office at the end of April, beginning of May, so the intent from the very beginning has always been to try to bring some balance to those who have been significantly disadvantaged over the last 10 years. So her focus has always been to have a people-centered approach to governing, and so she tasked our cluster, the Minister of Finance, myself, and the Minister of Trade, to focus on making sure that we can create policies that are geared towards giving hope to ordinary persons and to everybody by and large, because we don't take this thing between categories of persons, but that citizens of Trinidad and Tobago should feel hopeful in the economy, should know that the government care about them when it comes to jobs. And I'm sure you would have spoken to Minister Smith and so on earlier on, whether it be in jobs or whether it be in finding ways to satisfy the workers' agenda, vis-a-vis giving people an honest wage or better wage or a living wage, as she describes it, or whether it be just creating opportunities for ordinary citizens to participate. And then the Minister of Finance would have talked about the real estate first on the stock exchange, but more so is just creating opportunities for persons to feel that they can participate in the economy, to feel that the government is working for them, and to feel that they can fare better as this economic recovery unfolds.
I want to look at here tax reforms, the introduction of transfer pricing legislation to secure revenue and curb profit shifting by multinationals, with supporting regulations and officer training. A review of the VAT system is planned with consideration to replace it with a simpler sales tax at the point of final transaction, aimed at improving efficiency and clearing arrears. Yeah, because we've grown accustomed to the VAT, VAT inclusive or VAT added, as the case may be. But this, of course, is meant to be a lot simpler, a lot easier.
And a lot simpler to administer as well. And the whole idea is that because, as you know, VAT has to be calculated, it has to be deposited, and there's a delay in VAT hitting the government coffers. And then, of course, we have to calculate as well VAT returns, and a number of things will go into that, both from a
a manpower perspective as well as from an economic planning perspective. So many countries have moved towards a GST, so that is what is being contemplated. And a general sales tax would be a direct at the point of commercial activity and go directly into the consolidated fund. Now, what also, and the Minister of Finance would have spoken about that in his budget.
When could that happen, and how long are we expected to get?
In the last couple of months is retooled the National Information Center and put in a National Payments and Innovation Center, so that we are moving towards having direct payments to government already. So we have started to prefigure some of this, and that's why you would see that, and as you know, I'm sure Minister Smith would have spoken about it many times to you as well, is using technology to simplify the ways in which we can interact with government, to simplify the ways in which we can arrange payments, so that we can, by creating electronic identification, being able to use wallets, being able to use the whole national lotteries, 1,300 stations across the country. So there are different ways in which we can engage the government, make payments, and simplify the type of economic activity. So, for example, contemplated in the past, in the future, if you want to apply for a driver's permit, a passport, a transfer certificate, you can do all of those things through the payment center. So that's one of the reasons why this government is moving at a pace to make sure and modernize in the ways in which we collect revenue, collect taxes, organize payments, so that people can be comfortable and in a secure way of engaging with government.
Okay, so that makes it, okay. Social support. A reduction in the price of super gasoline by $1 per liter at the pump, of course, was announced as a measure to build economic fairness.
Yes. But also to give to give some measure of disposable income that people will retain in their pockets. So, I mean, it's important that, especially a significant sector of our population, especially those who use super as opposed to those who use premium gas, that we give some measure of relief. And again, these are not new things. This should have been done some time ago. There is an opportunity to pass back some of that to consumers. So that's one of the reasons why I think the Minister of Finance would have spoken in those terms, and the Prime Minister would have characterized not only this budget, but her administration as one that is focused on giving people, being people-centered and giving people additional benefits so that they can have something tangible in their economic activity, and of course to make them be more, to benefit more from having some additional disposable income in their accounts.
International standing, Trinidad and Tobago is on course to be removed from the EU's list of non-cooperative jurisdictions by February of next year, which is expected to lower borrowing costs, strengthen capital markets, and unlock opportunities for international cooperation.
Yeah, now those are very, very important things. As you know, we operate in a global space, so it's quite important for us, based on not only our international standings, but also in terms of being able to access not just loans but even financing mechanisms through the World Bank, the IDB, the European Union, and other agencies. It's important that we stay on the right side of those engagements. Now, as you know, we have an audit coming up in March of next year. So all those factor regulation amendments that we would have passed in the last month or so, we are going to be one of the first countries in the Caribbean to have that audit coming up. Now, there are lots of work to be done. We still have a number of hurdles to cross, but we are very well on track, and I think that's one of the pluses that that we would have undertaken in the last month or so, especially through the Attorney General's office.
All right. The energy sector outlook, natural gas production and projected to recover from 2.6 billion cubic feet per day to 3.2 billion cubic feet by 2027, led by projects such as the Manatee and Dragon gas fields. And oil production is expected to benefit from enhanced exploration and field development, with strong foreign investment flows projected into the upstream energy sector.
Well, as you know, the energy sector continues to be, the hydrocarbon sector continues to be the mainstay of our economy, irrespective of how we will slice and dice it. And those things have taken, as you would have seen in the recent past, Exxon and other interested persons coming in and being able to start significant activity. BP, Shell, and the others are continuing their activities as well. So we would see a much brighter future. Now, the thing is, and this is what I think the Minister of Finance would have discussed, and the Prime Minister, of course, would have cautioned us, is that in some of those projects will see increased activity as we go along 2027, 28, and in the 30s, 30, 32, 33, and of course 37 and 32 and 37, as we go forward in our country's trajectory. And even as we invest in diversification as well in the tourism sector, that you will see an immediate uplift from hopefully a beginning of construction activity. All of those may not start to contribute revenues until the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. So she's asked us as well to focus on the non-energy sector, where we need to increase that the contribution of the non-energy sector to GDP and economic activity. And at the same time, what she has asked us to do as well is to make sure and bring the private sector in as partners in driving economic growth and activity. So, while we have, and I think this is an excellent budget, and we would have done a tremendous job, and again, thanks to all those in finance and planning, and all across the public service who would have helped to make this happen. Let's be very clear. We're still going to have challenges moving forward. We all have to work together. We need the private sector to be part of this economic activity and this drive towards continuing to build and establish economic growth, create fiscal space, and create economic activity within our drive to revitalize the economy. We have to also implement on the projects.
70 million in revenue. And of course,
that people have to develop a more discerning consumer and to report instances where this has been unfairly applied. I mean, we do have mechanisms to address that. I think when it comes to the banking sector and other sectors, we have to become a society that must not just simply accept some of these things as fait accompli. But also begin to become more
it's confusing because, you know, here you have this situation where why should the tenants be affected with it? I mean, you are generating money, you are generating revenue, so it's only fair that, you know, you pay something rather than to have an administration force you into getting into something, having to evaluate it and come up with their own figure and say this is what we expect to get. It really makes you wonder sometimes if you're able to work with people or they just simply love to complain.
Yeah, but I think on the other side of that too, I am also, I mean, and I've heard it across the board in a number of forums that we would have spoken in post-budget, that there is this expectation that people automatically will pass on some of these things to consumers. You know, you see it when it comes to bank fees and charges. You see it when it comes to other consumer other consumer activities and so on, that I think there is this constant expectation, and we have to say that, you know, I'm not going to, if it is, for example, that I go somewhere and the prices change astronomically, you know, simply find somewhere else to go to, or simply say, you know what, I will not patronize this, or I will not do that. And I think we have to be sufficiently aware, and the Minister of Finance made the point. In this day of social media, there are so many alternatives that are available to us. We must not find ourselves in a situation where we are powerless. So when I listen to people talk, I hear a sense of powerlessness that this was happened to me. Well, even if it happens, I think we have to be able to say, you know what, I am not going to accept it. And there are reporting mechanisms to deal with some of these things, and we need to avail ourselves of it.
Yeah, you know, I want to look at the NIB as well, and I'm sure you've been bombarded with a lot of talk where this is concerned. Even our economist Professor Patrick Watson, he weighed in on it. He described the near bankruptcy of funds in the National Insurance Board as being messy. And I wonder if people understand that, you know, it's a matter of more money that needs to be put aside for you so you can get it as far as when the time arrives. Because we're not guaranteed that by 2034 that this program may even exist.
Well, the sad fact about it, and this is fact, is that the former governments have been speaking about this since 2019.
Right.
This actual report actually is an old actual report. This is not a new actual report. It's an old actual report that spoke to an intervention that should have taken place minimum 5-6 years ago. Right? So let's be clear. This intervention was geared towards extending the fund into late 2040s. Now, nothing was done. Nothing was done, and again, I have to commend the courage of the Prime Minister, the courage of the Minister of Finance, and the courage of my cabinet colleagues to yet again take an intervention that require a hard decision. Now, there are two things in that. One is that there's an increase in the contribution. Now, what the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance has put into the budget is to make the contribution to do part this fiscal and the second part the next fiscal, so that it's not all done at one time. But the other side of that is, given the fact that we have an aging population, so 50 billion in the following years, that is the shortfall that the fund experienced last fiscal and would have experienced this fiscal if we did not do anything. So not only will the fund run out of money, we will be struggling to meet the fund's obligations and having to serve an increasingly expanding aging population. So hence the reason why we needed to address taking the decision, so the guidance of the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, taking the decision to move the fund over from 60 to 65 over 10 years, so that now persons will retire mandatory retirement will be 60. In 2028, and that
to the citizenry. Two, social support, a reduction in the price of super gasoline. I mean, you hear the other side saying, well, all right, but they didn't do it. They were there for 9.5 years, they didn't do it. International standing. I mean, you telling me that we can finally remove that global black eye and go and see how best we can get loans and money that we need for this country. That's important. And that is what this expenses to tenants, that's totally unfair. This is money that you earn. This is money that you have. You are generating revenue. you have to pay. You have to.
found a brief on it when I took over planning. I know it's part of social development brief, initiative people's brief as well, and that is women's health. And it's really a tragedy that the leader of the opposition didn't allude to it. We have, and I think Trinidad and Tobago should be justifiably proud that we have 3 females at the head of our countries in leadership in our country at this time. And this Prime Minister took a very bold decision to include a period policy and to make sure and include something that will address women's health. And I think that is so important. I mean, this budget addresses a number of things, as you alluded to, all the international things as well, but also the environment and also women's health. And this is probably one of the, I think, I wasn't here for a long time, but this is one of the few budgets that looks at the entire tapestry of how people ought to be given a new lease and participate in economic engagement, but also never forgetting some of our fundamental things that we have to commit to. And women's health is one of them. And that period policy that will destigmatize women's women's cycle and what women go through, and make sure that we provide proper support for girls and young women as they come into full adulthood. So that's something that I'm really, really happy about in the budget as well. And it's a pity that too was not highlighted.
And you're right. I agree with you. And again, I want to say hats off to you and the entire team at the Ministry of Finance, the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, everyone who really and truly sat down and went through this. And of course, we've seen photographs of where the entire cabinet had sessions where you were talking about it. It really says a lot. And I think really that we are on the good path. We are on a very good, bright path. And it really makes you wonder, why is it that, for the last 9.5 years, none of these decisions were people-centered?
Signals the fact that there is a Prime Minister and a cabinet prepared to make the hard decisions.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for taking time out and linking with us this evening. It has been very insightful, and I know that you're up to the challenge. Keep up the good work, and we will be checking in with you, of course, as time goes along.
Thank you, Mickie. And again, should be to you and your listeners.
Thank you so much. Shub Diwali.
Thank you.
A quick break, and we'll be right back with more on the Observer.
So much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable
Maintenance, manpower resources. Horses, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited. TNT's Construction Boss.
Where does disease start? It often begins silently. No pain, no symptoms, just inflammation quietly damaging your body. Our choice is food, stress, pollution, all feed inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the root cause of many modern diseases.
You can't go back in time, but you can start addressing inflammation before it becomes disease.
Omega XL is a natural inflammation fighter clinically researched with over 30 fatty acids and no fishy aftertaste. Available Caribbean-wide at pharmacies and health food stores. Call 1-868-225-0410 for more information.
For all top quality and affordable hardware supplies, no one beats Midland Hardware. Located number 97 Eastern Main Road, Aruka. Midland stocks the #1 brands in hand tools, garden tools, water tanks, power washers, generators, water pumps, kitchen and bathroom faucets, along with face basins and toilet sets, blocks, lumber, steel, sand, gravel, and topsoil. Also check out Midland for steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via link.
Yes, thank you so much indeed, Master Control. We are back. And again, you know, when you put everything together and put it in the right perspective here, I mean, you have an administration that sat down and said, you know what, we have to get this economy going. It's stagnant. It's way past stagnant. And we got to grab the bull by the horns and make it happen. But then when you have an opposition that not only do they walk out when it is that they feel that that's going to justify the fact that they can't do anything, but given the opportunity to present an alternative woman, taking care of children, making men and citizens, all of us, feel a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, they had no reply to that. I mean, think about it when we go through this budget for what it really metal dealer's license. October 16th, 2025. The Ministry of Trade Investment and Tourism wishes to inform the public, and in particular, all scrap metal dealers, that Cabinet has agreed to an extension of time of all dealers' licenses, like all dealers' licenses from October 14th, 2025 to October 14th, 2026. 1 year. This extension, which is the 5th since the reopening of the industry in February 2023, applies to all dealers' licenses previously granted under the All Metal and Marine Stores Act, provided that those dealers have complied with Section 39 of the Scrap Metal Act 2022. This extension from October 14, 2025 to October 14, 2026 allows for the continued operations of the scrap metal industry in Trinidad and Tobago and is intended to protect jobs and livelihoods of thousands of persons linked directly and indirectly to. The Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism remains committed to supporting the sector during this period, transitional period, while at the same time ensuring that full compliance with the Act and regulation remains the ultimate objective. Joining us President of the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association, Mr. Alan Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson.
I want first, a person who believes there's a God, I just want to say thanks to the Ministry of Trade and all the people who worked there to make this happen. I also want to thank the Prime Minister and Chief Cabinet for making this extension a whole year. What it does for us is give us time to sit down with the people in the Ministry of Trade, to sit down to deal with all the issues in the industry, where we could work together, we as our association and the government and the people in the Ministry of Trade, to work to fix a problem that didn't be create. So we will.
Position would have weighed in on that. They had an opportunity on Friday. They had a chance to say something. But I'll tell you what my takeaway is that really jumped out at me, Mr. Ferguson, is when they said that the scrap metal industry in Trinidad and Tobago is of course, the operations intended to protect jobs and livelihoods of thousands of persons linked directly and indirectly to the industry. For the last 9.5 years, Mr. Ferguson, the last administration never one day gave recognition to those very same people whose livelihood depended on the industry. What a big change.
No, and that is why we thank the Prime Minister for giving us this opportunity to strengthen the industry, to work with us to strengthen the industry, because the industry have a lot more things that they could do to help Trinidad and employ thousands or more people, All we want to do is to get the opportunity to expand and to spread out the recycling industry, because really this industry is a recycling industry that worldwide a lot of countries push this industry, because what it does, it helps out thousands of people to be able to get employment, and what it do, it help the environment, and it work on the environment, and also all the water course in Trinidad and Tobago, and so much of thing I could tell you, because you see, some people don't understand the importance of this industry, and it's only sometimes that why we need to be outside enlightening them a lot of things, because when you pull the truck with one set of garbage, a lot of different iron batteries and all kind of things, and you drive into the dump, And if we don't have the people who to recycle it and sort it out, these things go into the earth. And if you go to the bottom dump, we sit down on a water course, this is where we'll damage the water course. And we, as recyclers, we remove all these things from the dump. And I'm not talking about the dump of the bottom alone. We're talking about the Arima dump. We're talking about Clarkson Bay dump. We're talking about the dump in Tobago also. We have people all in this place and all in Point 14 all over Trinidad and Tobago working in these dumps to recycle the material, bring them to our yard where we sort them out and pack them in containers. And the same thing that these things export out of Trinidad and Tobago. And you know what it does? It brings in the foreign exchange. And we, as the scrap dealers and recyclers, all we're asking for is the help to expand our industry, because our industry is an industry that not only deal in scrap iron, we deal in tires, we deal in old food, we deal in plastic, we deal in cardboard, paper, and these is people that we have members of. So when you give us the chance to expand and improve the industry, what you do is you give a lot of people under the privilege, under the lower part of the stick, jobs, and jobs we could help them out, because I could tell you a lot of people build a house out of this industry, buy the motor cars and keep them out of crime, and keep them people out of crime, because most of the people sometimes work in this industry is people from Lavantil, the Beacom, the Sealer, the Enterprise, the Clarkson Bay, and the areas, the Arima dump, and a lot of these people, when you see this industry operating, these people smile because they understand that it keeps them out of crime. And when we're speaking about crime, we must look at the people that we keeping out of crime, because if you have something for them to do when they come home, they don't have time to go and follow idle hand and do evilness, you know. So that is why it is important of this industry. This industry touches the people in the lower part of the state, and that is why we just asking the government to work with us, that we could be able to get these people out of crime. Because we're ready to work, and that's our job. We're ready to work to talk to them and show them and have people talking to them to show them how they can make an honest dollar when they come. That's our job. We have no problem working to help the country, you know. And our Prime Minister say, you create job. We help. We creating job, but we also bringing in foreign exchange. We ready to expand our industry. And we could recognize that it have a lot of things in the sea waters, and we recognize we want to expand our industry to all in the waters of in Trinidad and Tobago to help. And we're ready to work with this government to able to capture a lot of the environment, which we could work with without spending money, you know. I am talking about if we get the opportunity, we could expand in areas that the government will spend less money. These are the things we want to do, Mickie. All we are asking for is to work with us, sit down with us, and let us show you the way that we could do it. Mickie, when we go places like Singapore, and we go out at Trinidad, you know what it'll say? We is one of the major people in this region who understand the industry. Mickie, I always want to stretch out on this. Just before the COVID, they had appointed me, the person to be in this region, the top man in this region here, who understand the recycling thing. And I'm talking about people not in one country or two countries, no. Every single country in the world. When we meet in Singapore, it was like, hey, y'all understand it, because when we started telling them about tires, we started telling them about how the recycling, they want to know which part Trinidad and Tobago is, you know, because they didn't understand that they have people who understand the recycling here. And when we come to make laws concerning the recycling in Trinidad, they want to go and follow Jamaica, where I was the one who in Jamaica sit down and talk to in reference to helping them out to put laws together. They don't understand it. We sat down with the UNC in 2012 to 2014, and we had done. At that time, they was ready to send people to our office to work with me to make laws to govern this industry. So I am saying that we're ready to sit back with this UNC government where they're in power now to work to fix this industry. We're ready to do that. All we're saying is that this is an industry that needs more help than the help that we get from the last government, and we're ready to work with them. This is what we're saying. We can do it. We have the knowledge here. We have the knowledge in Trinidad and Tobago. We don't need nobody to come to tell we, listen to me, if you have to buy something, you have to do certain things. We don't need nobody to tell us, listen to me, you need to separate this from that. We don't understand all these things already. And you want to bring people here in Trinidad and Tobago to tell you.
Stick a pin in that, Ferguson. We're going to have a part 2 to this, but I thought it was quite important that we let the people know, especially on Honorable Prime Minister, that opportunity to talk to the Honorable Prime Minister about this. What will you tell her based on the fact that you've gotten a year now?
Well, what I would really like her to do is for us to she and the government, for us to sit down and let us work in this industry. This industry is an important industry for Trinidad and Tobago. We could bring in a lot. As you say, we will bring in a lot of employment for the people in the lower part of the state and different people, because we have the opportunity for a lot of people who in different categories to get them employment. We're ready to sit down with your government, Prime Minister, to work with them to fix this industry. And I know it's not y'all with damaging your government, damage this industry, but we're ready to sit down with y'all to work to fix it. And I really appreciate if y'all could sit down with us to work with it. Because I know you, Madam Prime Minister, you as a lady want to see employment in Trinidad and Tobago. You want to see the youth off the street. You want to see crime down. You want to see a lot of things, and we want to be part of solving these problems too, Madam Prime Minister.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Keep up the good work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hey, folks, we're going to take a quick break, come back, close up, but the lines are going to be open. 225-9790. Master Control, we need that. 225-9790. And for your WhatsApp calls, 494-0938. Don't forget, Strong Heart is an all-natural omega-7 supplement that has been shown in clinical studies to be associated.
But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega.
Then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental. excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
All right, we're back and the lines are open. 225-9790, 225-9790, and for your WhatsApp calls 494-0938. And a pleasant good evening once again to each and every one. Going to open up the lines and take your call at this time. And Shub Diwali once again to each and every one. So 225-9790 or 494-0938. And you can send your WhatsApp calls, make your calls via that 494, or you can call directly at 225-9790. And of course, you heard from the Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, and weighing in on the fact that there's no need to panic, and if there was anything happening, that we would be, of course, briefed on it by the authorities. He's also talking about legislation that would stop people dead in their tracks for creating all of this mischief and panic and, you know, this entire sense of fear in our society. You heard from the Minister of Public Administration and AI Technology, Senator the Honorable Dominic Smith, and he was talking about the jobs, of course, 20,000 jobs, phase one. There's a center at the Vancouver, I think it's the cycling center, is that correct, Master? Cycling center, right, that's right. And so you can check that out. Those of you skilled, unskilled workers, laborers, name it. And of course, you heard from the Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development, Senator the Honorable Kennedy Swat Singh, putting everything in perspective as far as the budget, what does it mean and how we're going to benefit. I agree with him. This economy has been stagnant way too long. It's good news to hear that we could finally get that global black eye off of us so we can start to deal with global banks and what have you, and deal with many of these institutions. You heard from the President of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association, Alan Ferguson, thanking the government, of course, for the extension of time for all scrap metal dealers' license. So the lines are open as we make our way out of here. 225-9790, 225-9790. And if you want, you can make your WhatsApp calls 494-0938. And definitely want to hear from you this evening. Tell us what's going on. You know, I don't know how you felt. I mean, over the weekend, as I said, a lot of people were calling. One person did call me and I acted as though I was in a bunker just to get back at him. I said, yeah, I mean, you don't have a bunker, you need to get in a bunker, something happening. And then, of course, he knew I was just playing. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is that there were people who were calling and they were very much terrified. They were like, my gosh, you know, what's happening? Are we going to be briefed? Are we going to be told anything? I said, well, there's nothing to say. I don't think the authorities are going to call a press conference to say absolutely nothing. So then you have nothing to fear. But it goes to show you that, you know, these very same individuals who are causing all of this is being, you know, highlighted, of course, throughout the budget, in the budget debate, as being paid a large sum of money, saying that the money that they receive was all worked for, well worth it, but the only thing we have to show for it is propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. I mean, absolutely nothing. Why couldn't the money go to highlight some of the things that the last administration did? Because they did absolutely nothing when you look at it now. So all of that money spent, and I would hate to think that their modus operandi moving forward is just to create stories that is going to panic our nation and have us living in fear, rather than dealing with the issues at hand. I mean, the people want jobs, the administration is looking at that, the people want security, and the people want to feel a sense of belonging. Observe. It's been a pleasure as always, and stay good until we meet again. Yeah, Shub Diwali, once again, to the Hindu community and to all our brothers and sisters out there. Do enjoy, be safe. We are out of here.
Observe.